We're going to talk about how to build a standout resume for designers.
Standout resume. Why is that important?
You don't really need a resume to get a job in the design industry, but it's also very helpful just to have one in hand. The first thing in a resume is to have everything listed out in reverse chronological order. In some cases, the most recent might be the most relevant.
Right. Okay.
And the next thing is to be consistent.
I think this is very key, especially if you're applying as a designer, because as designers, what do? We organize information, we make sense of things, and we have to pay attention to details. Right. So if you get sloppy on your resume, that's the first impression that somebody's going to see and like, this person didn't really think this all the way through. They didn't think their system out. So it's very important to be consistent in everything that you do as a designer.
And in the contact info, you should be including your name, website portfolio link, your email, and phone number. Those are the 4 key contact info. And for education, people often just put their college and university for education, but this is also a space where you can put, let's say if you went to the Adobe Max conference, that's something that you can include under the education section.
And I think one key thing about this is even if you graduated college, and it shows that you're pursuing
Constantly learning. Yeah. And another section that you should include in your resume is the awards and recognition. And here you can put if you were featured in a gallery, if you're on a dean's list, if you received a certain scholarship, if you were interviewed or featured on some website or anything that you're recognized.
Yeah, some of these things are actually quite nice, especially if it's a third party. If it's outside of your school, it's kind of nice. And there's plenty of organizations, competitions and things where you could submit your work. So it might be nice to add a couple of notches on your belt to show that you've been recognized by the design community at large.
And also the last section is your skills. And here you can put your software skills or hardware skills. So the software skills will be the things, the Adobe suite, Cinema, Rhino, or whatever. And you can also put machinery skills, like if you know laser cutting, sewing, bookbinding, those are skills too. And this is optional. You can also put personal interests. I wouldn't list down all the things that you're interested in, but it's just to show the employers a little personality. This is where you can just add a little bit of you in the resume. And so now I'm going to talk about the do's and don'ts. So don't include an objective statement.
So I guess the asterisk here is don't put an objective statement that says, I want to get a job.
Right.
You don't want to do anything generic like that. But I think if there is something clear that helps make it a little bit more distinct about and what your goal is with your entry for potential employment, then you could put something very, very brief there.
And don't include proficiency levels and skills.
This is what we're talking about.
Where they have a full bar, kind of like 0 to 100, and they'll list down like right here, the Photoshop, it's almost to 100. And it's just confusing to me because I think there's so much to learn in Photoshop, especially After Effects. There's so many plugins. There's never an 100%. And also, don't be overly creative. I put this in quotation marks because I have a certain definition for them. They look like this, where they kind of look like infographics. It's too many tricks in the resume. All right.
So recap, Emily, what are the most important things that our audience should be walking away with today as they go and make their resumes?
I think the main objective is to keep it simple, keep it consistent, and also legible. That's the 3 key things that you need to overall should be in a resume.
Right. I think that's the design aspect from it. As far as the meat, the content of it, it's very important to curate and edit down. Only show me what's relevant and customize it per the employer, because different employers are going to look for different things, and don't just send out a generic resume. Personalize it for that particular studio or agency that you're applying for.